Welcome, Cyclone fans, to another episode of the Nightcap. I'm Levi Stevenson, joined by Matthias Schwarzkopf, Josh Lenz, and child producer Aiden Wyatt. How's it going, everybody?
I was going to throw up the deuces, but then I realized it was Josh's thing to do that, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
At what age do I not become the child producer?
What was that?
At what age do I not become the child producer anymore?
As soon as you get older than us.
Okay. Turned 20 today. No big deal.
Turned 20
like a grown
birthday,
man.
huh?
Did you?
Like a grown man.
Today's your birthday?
Yeah.
Well, see, you
Now
still
we're
can't.
assholes for not knowing that.
You still can't drink. So
Thank you.
actually, I feel like Aiden may have mentioned that to me the other day, that it was his birthday coming up. Like he was looking for me to, like he was looking for people to come tell him happy birthday. Specifically, like he was going out of his way.
A big deal. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just gonna throw this out there, but my birthday is next week, so
Who cares, Josh?
What is a birthday?
exactly.
After you turn 21, it really doesn't matter. So
After you
the
turn
only one that
21,
has the birthday to look forward to after this.
There is no more meaningful birthdays after 21.
Yeah.
No.
Not a one. All right. So today we are going to preview the UNLV game, the trip to Las Vegas, and all that good stuff. So before we get into that, we should say thank you to our sponsors over to Stas Bar and Grill and Ames. Been a great sponsor with us for a long time. Still have the Burger Wednesday specials, Taco Tuesday. Then they have their 11 to 3 unlimited tacos for, every single day for $8. And they have FAC specials. They've always got specials going on during the game. In case you don't have a ticket, you can always go to Stas and catch the game and get some good food and some good drinks. So definitely head on over there if you're looking for some good food. Or some delicious meals, or a half a gallon of friggin' Stas punch. So much.
Dangerous.
I was thinking about that the other day. About the
Is someone here? We're saying 27, 26 to get a rental car. I personally have. I rented a rental car when I was 23 years old. So something is not real there. I don't know what it is, but I guarantee you that I rented a car before I was 26. I wasn't 25. I rented a car when I was.
We got a fucking badass over here. Just watch out.
So because
I was coming back from a job interview in Colorado. I was coming back from a job interview in Colorado, and I got stuck in O'Hare because my flight to Des Moines got canceled. So myself, a guy that ended up playing, he was T.Y. Hilton's quarterback at Florida International, and then like two or three other people. We just all rented a van in my name and drove to Des Moines from there, or drove to Cedar Rapids. Maybe I don't remember what it was.
Are you expecting us to be impressed that you rode in a car or a van with T.Y. Hilton's quarterback?
No, but it happened when I was like a senior in college or something like that. I would have been 24 maybe. I wasn't in college, but I was like 24. It's like definitely under.
This story had Andrew Luck was in the van with you, I would have been more impressed. But college quarterback, not doing it for me.
See, he says it's 21 to rent a car. So yeah, 26 to rent a car is bullshit. I don't know why. I don't know why you would have to wait till 26 to rent a car. That's such a silly age. There's no, that's nothing. All right. Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about. Do we have to? Are we acknowledging that there was a football game last week, or are we just going straight to UNLV?
Let's just move on.
All right, UNLV.
Suck.
I blacked out.
All right, UNLV coming up this weekend in Las Vegas, in Allegiant. It's called Allegiant Stadium. Brand new field, brand new Raiders Stadium out there. Looks like a really, really nice facility. UNLV is real bad. Matthias, I believe you were looking up some numbers on exactly how bad UNLV is.
Oh, well, if I had to quantify it as bad or real bad,
that's what numbers do. Yes,
it'd be real bad, as we've said. The UNLV defense gives up like 36 points a game since Marcus Arroyo took over the team last year, coming over from Oregon. They have given up 38 points a game. So that's super not good. Which can. Coincidentally, too, they also had the #1 recruiting class in the Mountain West Conference last year when he joined after a short time. Kind of like he had the Matt Campbell quick turnaround in recruiting wise, but I don't think those guys have really got going just quite yet. So I haven't really looked much into the UNLV recruiting class this year, but I can't imagine it's the greatest after you don't win a game in almost 2 years. They give up 468 yards a game, which actually is not great either. 274 yards a game passing, 193 yards a game rushing. I can keep going down this list, and it's just getting worse and worse. So if there was ever a game for the Iowa State offense to get out of whatever the hell they are doing right now, I don't know. I honestly think this Iowa State offense needs to be found back in Glendale, Arizona. We all need to just get in a van, as Levi does, apparently with random people, drive down to Glendale, find this offense, put it in the box.
Is the correct word. It was T.Y. Hilton's quarterback.
It wasn't Andrew Luck, so it's not. It was random.
Is that the only quarterback that's
Yes.
Is Andrew Luck? How is Andrew Luck not random? And is that the only quarterback that qualifies as not random?
It doesn't matter. I don't care if it wasn't Andrew Luck.
Okay. Anyways,
So yeah, we need to go on a recon mission, wide right and anti-light recon mission, Glendale, Arizona, find the offense, bring it back. It's like the Space Jam ball, right? That's where the offense is right now. There's a football laying in Glendale that we need to find.
It's in the trophy.
Very well could be.
You just need to bring it with them.
Yeah, but then we look like the assholes who's bragging about something that happened a year ago.
100%. We just drag the Fiesta Bowl trophy around everywhere we go. Doesn't matter. Take it down to Oklahoma. Be like, look at our Fiesta Bowl trophy.
And then they're gonna be like, well, look at our Cotton Bowl trophy.
All right. Well, but the tricky part about talking about this game is because UNLV is so bad that it can be described as a tune-up game for Iowa State, is trying to get things right. But unfortunately, you can't talk about what can go right or what can be fixed without talking about what's going wrong. So, Josh, to your best estimation, what are at least it's certainly not one thing that's going wrong. What can you see from this offense that just something's not clicking? What have you been able to identify or not identify?
That's a good question. And I wish I had a really good answer for that, but I don't know if I do. I don't know if the buildup from this year has just gotten to him a little bit, or a little bit too much pressure. I wish I had a good answer for that, but I don't. I don't know what the right answer is, and I wish I did. And I'm sure Iowa State's coaching staff is saying the same thing. But I think more importantly, I think there's a lot of adversity right now, right? And Campbell's talked about that. I think it could go either direction. Either they're going to lay it down and say, shit, we lost a game against Iowa that, had 4 turnovers and, should have won. I'm not going to say should have won, but, we needed a win and didn't have the best game against UNI. But, I think it's going to say a lot. I don't know if we're going to see it against this UNLV game just because, like you said, they're not a great team. But I think the next couple of games, it's going to speak volumes to the rest of the season. And if anything, these guys have been in this situation to a slow start. And I don't know. Like you said, I that's a roundabout way of me saying I don't know what the answer is or what the problem is right now. But obviously something's not right. And like I said, at least we have UNLV this week to hopefully sharpen the sword a little bit and get something going, get some rhythm, get a little mojo back, and finish out the season strong. But like I said, I wish I had a better answer, but I'm just not sure what's going on.
So from a player perspective, how do you kind of approach this, I guess, if you're in this situation?
Obviously it's easier said than done, but you have to keep the noise out, right? I mean, right now it's them versus the world. Like, it truly is. Like, you have Iowa State fans saying, what the hell is going on? So it's not even just, I don't know, like Iowa State fans are obviously going to support you, but right now everybody's saying, what, came out, didn't perform the way we wanted to against UNI, and then came out and lost to Iowa. So now everybody has a bunch of question marks. So honestly, these guys, this is a time where the leadership in the locker room, I mean, they got to bring everybody together and I would say not lose the locker room, like not lose the guys in the locker room. I mean, you're going to have, like I said, there's a lot of adversity right now. So I think the leadership has to come together and say, guys, look, this is one game. We had 4 turnovers. I mean, the offense had more yards than Iowa. Like the turnovers killed us. Obviously, we didn't look great. Defense is looking really good. But, I think the leadership needs to pull those guys in and say, hey, we lost one game. Like, I know there's a lot of noise outside this building, but we need to stick together, and we still have a goal. Like, we still can accomplish what we want out of this season and make it to the Big 12 championship. So I think it's going to be very important. Obviously, guys like Brees and Purdy, they haven't had the start to the season they wanted. But, those are guys that have been around for a long time and I think are mature enough to put that behind them and do what it takes to get to where they want to be yet. Like I said, it's one game. I know we're all like up in arms because we didn't kill UNI and we lost to Iowa, but this is a mature team. I have faith that Campbell and the staff will get it figured out, and I think it's important that the leaders in the locker room make sure that they don't lose the locker room, and keep that positive vibe going forward.
I think a lot of it just seems like I don't want to say like they don't have like the will on offense, because I think they do. Like you said, they're a mature team. They know what they need to do, and they want to win. That's why all these guys came back, or some of them could have left and gone to the NFL. But what it is, it's like almost like there's a lack of aggression. If you can sit back and let a defense come to you, the Iowa State offense is doing it. There's no urgency on anything. There's no firepower in blocking. It's just they're lining up and almost kind of like seemingly just doing it rather than
they're playing like the ones that have to do the counter punching.
Yeah,
and ignoring the fact that they're the ones with the ball.
Where Iowa State last year, when we saw them at their best offensively, you can look at the games like Kansas State, West Virginia. They were the guys going out and throwing the haymakers and setting the tone right away, and then the defense just goes out and finishes them off. Where right now the defense is going out and fighting a 15-round fight, but they're not getting the knockout punch by the offense that they got last year. And we have seen a few chunk plays by this Iowa State offense, but there hasn't been enough like of those consistently, like, the 10 yarders, the 12 yarders, the 15 yarders. Obviously we had like 49-yard pass to Darren Wilson last week and set up a score, but there isn't enough like each drive where you put in 10, 10, 10, all of a sudden you're down at the 20 and you're ready to score again. And then they wait, I don't know, it's another 5 drives before they do it again, where last year we're going one drive, another drive, maybe a break in between there, they punt, then they do another drive. There just isn't enough chunk momentum plays to get this offense kind of in the rhythm. And it's just like they don't have a killer instinct just right now. They have the guys to do it. Obviously, it's been done before by the same exact group that they have out there. It's just that it's not happening.
Mm-hmm. I think to your point, I think that, yeah, there hasn't been enough big chunk plays, explosive plays from the passing game to really open up the run game, and the run game hasn't been able to get going. That allows the passing game to really take off. So they're not meshing right now, right? Like there's no, there's just no.
They're not feeding off each other.
Yeah, yep. It just seems like it's a little out of rhythm, and like I said, I don't know what the reason is for it, but. Yeah, it just kind of feels that way.
Offensive or complementary football on the offensive side of the ball is not happening.
It is not. That's part of the tricky part about it too, is because you have to figure in what does Charlie Kohler mean here, because obviously they didn't have the first game, and in the second game he played and had a couple catches or whatever, but he didn't play a lot of snaps anyway.
It was almost like Charlie Kohler wasn't there.
He might as well not have been there. And from what I understand or whatever, is that he might be like that for a little bit, or is that he might be kind of playing hurt a lot of this season. which who knows? It's hard to say. There's no with no official injury reports. It's impossible to really know that. But Charlie does a lot for this offense for clearing out space. Even if he's in the run game, you have to dedicate a linebacker to Charlie just in case he slips out. Because there's so much film on that. And then in the passing game, he commands a lot of attention in the middle of the field, which opens stuff up for guys like Xavier or for a Daniel Jackson or a Darren Wilson or whoever. And so that's not ideal too, is that you're missing that piece there. So that doesn't help, but you should still be able to move the ball without.
There are ways to scheme around that, and it just seems like it hasn't. Like they haven't adjusted to if Charlie really is in fact below 100%. They haven't adjusted to that being a pure fact. They're operating as if he is 100% or not. I mean, he wasn't there the first game. They operated as if he was there, and in fact, he wasn't, and it showed. So then they did obviously the playbook was opened up a little bit. We saw different sets and things like that, different plays against Iowa, but it just didn't really go. And then when Charlie wasn't in there, it was just more of the same. And obviously Brock, for all intents and purposes, I mean, his velocity on the ball leaving his hand just doesn't seem to be existent either right now too. And it's almost, and I thought I heard it, or if Campbell said it, or maybe he was dinged up from the UNI game, had a hurt shoulder or whatever on his throwing shoulder. I don't know. But that one where he had, I think it was in the second half when Iowa State was driving towards the north end zone there, and he kind of airmailed the ball out of bounds on the right side.
Yeah. Yep.
And he had a wide receiver wide open. If he would have just set his feet and chucked that thing, he probably would have hit him. But it's just like, and he probably could make that throw on the run too. And it just either left his hand wrong or the arm is just a noodle right now. And, you know, some of those crossing routes where he had those picks, he wasn't leading receivers to the right spot. And, you know, as the old saying goes, you know, lead the horse to the water. He wasn't doing that either. And that one on though, when he threw that pick to the number 8 cornerback there in Iowa, I think was it Milton that fell down or something like that, or ran the wrong route, or went. I don't know. He was trying to go to Nevada real quick.
Which one? The third one or this?
Yeah,
because there was the 50-yard bomb that got picked, and there was
not that one. Not the crossing route. It was
the Hutchinson drop. The third one.
Yeah.
The third one, it got tipped at the line. And I think he was trying to throw to Kolar, who was over.
I thought it looked like he was throwing.
If you look at it from the back angle,
Kolar or Milton, one of the two, like something happened there. Yeah, if it was the tip, that's probably what happened.
And it's like, how much can you put on Brock as far as it's something getting tipped at the line? Obviously, you're trying to throw through a lane as opposed to over top of a lineman. But I mean, there's nothing he can do about a defensive lineman sticking his paw up and getting lucky that he hit the ball.
No, but then there's also the defender that was still in front of that receiver too. So what happens if that ball was a tip? Where's it going?
Yeah. It's just
he was still throwing into the A coverage. The fact whatever the route was, we didn't know because we didn't see it.
Right, and one part of it too is that the bounce off of that tip went all the way out to the sideline. It was still just a crazy bounce off the tip. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to decide how much blame to put him on there. The Xavier drop is tough because Xavier should have caught it, but it was also high and a little bit behind him. It wasn't an easy catch.
Yeah,
it was something that Xavier will tell you that he should have caught for sure.
Right, but it was also that type of route you need to lead the receiver, and then that way he can get the yards after catch.
And that one too, if I remember correctly, Xavier was in space a little bit. It wasn't like he was it wasn't tight up. Like he didn't need to gun it in there. He could have just kind of floated it in front of him.
Float it in front of him and let him go. And then the one that he threw deep downfield, like the receiver probably could have made a better play on it. But it also, I thought Xavier Hutchinson on that long one did Brock Purdy no favors there. I thought he kind of got posted up there, and it was like Brock underthrew him, but I thought Xavier could have done a better job of helping his quarterback out a little bit. Not terribly dissimilar from that last pick in the Big 12 title game either, honestly. As far as Xavier not necessarily helping him out on that jump ball situation. But it's the worst part is it's just a combination of a lot of different things. It's not like one thing where it's like, oh, this isn't working, we can fix this and we can go. It's Brock Purdy's playing he's in his own head right now, from what I can tell. I mean, it's just he was rattled. He was just all over the place. His mind was all over the place, and you could easily see it. He was playing too fast in his head, which is why Matt Campbell pulled him. They've been pressured a lot either.
The
offensive line
he's not running for his life. I mean, there was There's a little bit of pressure.
Line hasn't blocked well running in the run game, but they've blocked pretty good.
Pass pro's been fine.
Pass pro's been fine. And even like with blitzes coming out, they've been protecting really well. So it's
and he's been doing a good job of stepping up in the pocket too, and stuff like that. So it's not like it's not like he's running for his life. He's just in his own head. I don't know if he just doesn't trust some of the guys or what. I don't know what it is, but he's not. Brock Purdy is just a shell of the Brock Purdy we know he can be, and that's a huge issue. That's why Campbell pulled him out. That's why he put Hunter Deckers in, and they just kind of opened it up a little bit, which is something probably worth discussing at some point. Not necessarily Hunter Deckers so much, but why did the offense change when Hunter Deckers went in there? I mean, Hunter Deckers didn't make any throws that Brock Purdy can't or hasn't previously made. Why did the scheme change when Hunter Deckers went in there? It was opening up. Suddenly, Eli Sanders was wide open all over the field on crossing routes. They were getting guys open for him. I mean, why did the offense change? I mean, if Hunter Deckers was throwing darts that Brock just can't do or whatever, then sure, that's just a play that Brock can't run or whatever it is. But I didn't see any throw there that I haven't seen Brock make 100 times before. So
I'd be curious to see what Iowa was calling defensively, though. Too,
compared to what they were called off the dogs, and
that's also possible.
Been more of a prevent, not give up the big play.
I'm not gonna put too much stock into that just quite yet. Obviously, and I said this to my brother-in-law when he came in. Like, you can just tell the ball comes off Hunter Deckers' hand. It looks different. I mean, you can see what you can see on the tape that Deckers is a different level of passer from Purdy. I hate to refer to it as but it's a current situation. You watch like the Bears right now. It's like Andy Dalton versus Justin Fields. Andy Dalton's the old guy, and it's just whatever he's throwing it. But then when Justin Field comes in, it's zipping out of there, and that's it's kind of the same thing.
On the film, you can see that Deckers is just a different level of passer from Brock Purdy, and that there's a lot of other things that go into being a quarterback besides just arm talent, as Jacob Park can attest to you. But that's like, and as it's been stated 1,000 times, I mean, Hunter Deckers isn't taking Brock Purdy's job anytime soon, short of something else happening. But part of what this conversation evolves into, though, is if you're ever going to get it turned around, Saturday's the day to do it. You're indoors, you're on turf against a really bad team that you should be able to do anything you want against. Mm-hmm. If you can't get it going on Saturday, if Purdy still doesn't look good, whether it's because of an injury or he's still in his own head or whatever it is, then we need to start having a conversation that nobody wants to have because it's Brock Purdy. But you got to win football games here. You can't just ride Brock Purdy forever and hope he figures it out by the time we go down to Norman, and just hope he figures it out. And then we wasted this defense on a season where we're waiting for the quarterback to figure it out, when if potentially making a change helps alleviate some of that problems or reestablishes a high ceiling for your team. This team cannot, and this program cannot afford to wait around for Brock to figure it out.
I don't think anything. I think the odds of Brock Purdy figuring it out are much higher than actually, I think, him being benched for the rest of the season.
I agree. I 100% agree. But I'm saying,
yeah, if yes,
we've got to see. I mean, there's no other option. We have to see something on Saturday. We have to. There has to be a spark of life. If there isn't a spark of life against UNLV, then who are you gonna see it against?
Right.
You have to.
And one thing I don't think we should and I don't think we're overlooking it, but I mean, Iowa's a good football team,
no doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, their defense is good. So the fact that we didn't necessarily get it going against a good Iowa defense, it sucks because it's Iowa, in-state rival. We want to beat them, and we didn't do what we wanted to against UNI. But they're a good football team. They're ranked 5th now. They handled, they only gave up 6 points to Indiana, and Indiana, I think Indiana played like Idaho or something crazy like that. But they scored 56 at home last week, so it's not like they're just slouches and they can't score. They're a good football team. So I think they'll get it figured out. They just, like I said, they got to keep everybody together within the walls of the locker room there, and I think they'll get it figured out.
There's been a couple people mentioning gunslinger in the mentions here, but I don't think Brock Purdy was ever really a gunslinger. He maybe played like a gunslinger, but his arm is not a gunslinger.
He doesn't. That's the tricky part. Is he has the gunslinger play style without the gunslinger arm? Because typically the gunslingers are the ones that have the cannons. Brett Favre, Jay Cutler, those kind of guys. They have absolute cannons, but they just for whatever reason they throw too many picks.
You refer to Jay Cutler as king of zipping it through triple coverage and getting it to the receiver. Okay,
is that what happens?
70% of the time it happened. Okay?
Like I said, gunslinger.
I think I think when I think of like gunslinger, or like maybe it's what somebody's referring to from Brock, is I remember just those plays that maybe break down and he keeps it alive by scrambling a little bit and finding the open receiver down
backyard ball.
Yeah, more of a backyard football, guy.
The 2019 long toss against Texas there to Deshaunte Jones is a perfect example of it, where he's scrolling left and just chucks it.
Yeah, and so that's what I think of when I think of Brock Purdy. And I just don't know if we've seen any of that. I mean, obviously you want to stick in the pocket as long as you can, and there's other stuff that goes into it. But I mean, I love watching that. I mean, obviously you don't want every play to be like that, but
right.
I think.
But when was the last time though that we saw Brock Purdy play with that kind of joy and that kind of looseness, where he's just going out and just having fun and playing football? Like
second half of Baylor.
I mean, kind of, but he was still kind of buttoned up for a lot of that game. Like where he was still playing a little tight. He just had a lot more.
I think he's been buttoned up since he kind of got dinged up that first time back in 2018.
It's possible.
Probably around that Texas game. Everything just kind of seemed like it's been buttoned up since then. It's just they haven't let him freelance as much as he did prior to that.
And whether that's Brock's own thing or the coaching staff has tried to reel him in a little bit, who knows? It's probably a combination of the two. Because eventually you got to try to protect your quarterback too, and Brock's like the play style that we saw from Brock against Oklahoma State in his first start was probably not super sustainable for an entire career. Though you'd like to still see him still making those types of improvisation plays and all that. I don't know. It's kind of it's hard to watch because I know we all really want to see Brock be the dude, come in and be that guy and be a fringe Heisman candidate type of thing or whatever. We want to see that we want to see Brock do that kind of thing, but he's just not right. He's just not there right now, and it's hard to watch a little bit. And that's why I was whatever conversation might have to have if he's still bad against UNLV or even Baylor or Kansas. Like if he's still not figuring it out, there's a very difficult and painful conversation that probably has to happen at some point. But not saying that's right now or it's even after this weekend, but we're suddenly that possibility it exists at this point. I don't know what that is, but it's there. And it wasn't before.
Yeah, I think more than anything, Campbell kind of mentioned it, that there's no, real concern about pulling Brock or Brock not being the guy. I think more of it was, he kind of mentioned it just to get him to kind of calm down a little bit. And, what happens if he stays in the game, he gets hurt in a game that was, really out of reach, or continues to throw interceptions, or, just really doesn't march down the field or have any productivity in the rest of the game. And, maybe it was more of a trying to conserve his mentality after throwing 3 picks and being down the way they were than it was, really gunning for his position at receiver or trying to send any sort of message, but just really truly trying to look out for QB1.
It's kind of like the Packers this past weekend. They were getting their butts batootied to them, and they pulled Aaron Rodgers. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to be sitting week 2 for Jordan Love?
Right.
Not a freaking chance.
Right.
It was at that point, like you could tell, like the Packers. They didn't have it that day. It's one of those things where you as a coach, you realize, okay, sure, it's the fourth quarter. There's 15 minutes left, whatever. Yeah, maybe something happens. We get back in this game, but you could probably tell that wasn't going to be. I think we all probably saw that wasn't going to be the case. And it's one of those things, just like Josh is saying, get him out of there, let him reset, think about it a little bit on the sideline without being in the game and have to worry about play calling and all that, kind of unwind and be like, all right, wow, I really did not do anything good today. Let's get back in the mentality and try to correct it for next week.
Here's an interesting comment from Facebook. Do we need more rollouts and creative play calling to take advantage of his backyard football ability? Where my head immediately went with this question is one of the things that we saw a lot in 2018 and 2019, and it's sort of diminished over the last couple of seasons, is RPOs. Especially in 2019, they used a lot of them to a lot of success, and they can be really, really good. Oregon just demolished Ohio State with them last week. And we know Brock can run them. They've got Brees. They've got the players you need to run a really good RPO. Like RPOs are kind of part of that backyard football thing there too, where Brock's allowed to be a decision maker and he's allowed to have a little bit of freedom in what he's trying to do. And that RPOs can be really difficult to defend.
Yeah, I mean, just look what Oregon did this last weekend.
Yeah,
Ohio
they
State's
just
defense
took it to him with almost exclusively RPOs.
Triple option.
Yeah, the new triple option, wherever, which basically it's an RPO, which RPO has 3 options. So yes, it is a triple option or whatever. But like, why did we get away from that? We used them in 2018 and 2019 all the time. Why did we get away from RPOs?
I mean, even the biggest play against Oklahoma in the regular season last year was Xavier Hutchinson's slant
on an RPO.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would probably fall under your creative play calling, but I don't know if they really need to really emphasize rollouts by any means, just because rollouts is kind of like a constructive way to mask that you have a terrible offensive line, and Iowa State doesn't have a terrible offensive line. So they don't need to slide him to protect him, because like teams that have really bad offensive lines that can't pass protect and a mobile quarterback, they'll roll them out a shit ton of game. Maybe, they can still roll them out a couple times a game, kind of move the defense a little bit that way, but it's not something they need to go into a game and be like, yeah, we need to roll Brock Purdy out.
Right.
I almost said Mitch Trubisky.
and here's another, God damn it. And here's another one here. It says, could be just the offense isn't locked on the fundamentals. If they're still working on fundamentals as like 12th year seniors in like the 6th or 7th year of Campbell, or 6th year of Campbell, whatever, and they've all been here forever. If we're still working on fundamentals, we've got problems.
Well, I think
fundamentals can be a lot of things.
Fundamentals can be is a pretty wide term, but
I think maybe he meant they're overcomplicating the offense to the point where it's like there's so much going on. If that makes any sense.
Well, at the first game, I don't think they overcomplicated.
I don't think they overcomplicated shit. Yeah, I think
when you run 3 formations the entire game with maybe 6 plays total, I don't think that's overcomplicating it.
I mean, and that's kind of the thing about modern college football offenses too, is you have like a handful of like base plays that you move around in different formations. You might move a guy over, you might change a route here and there. I mean, you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, Josh, but I mean, like the playbooks they're big, but it's a lot of base plays and formations that you can move guys around a little bit, where it's still the same basic play. You just change one thing here and there just to get a certain guy into a certain spot on the defense. So it's not like playbooks are huge. They have a lot of variations to the same thing.
Yeah, and I'd say even as big as the playbook is, I think a lot of times you'll find offensive coordinators kind of they have their, like you said, their base plays that they're always going to go back to, and every week there may be variations, or you may add a player or two here just based on the defensive coverage that you're expecting to see, and you're going to change up the game plan and everything like that. But yeah, I mean that's and a lot of it too is crazy. So Jake Knott was with me at the game, and just listening to him, just his defensive mindset, he was calling out. Like he still watching Iowa today was going back and like calling, looking at the formation and they're empty. This amount of times they're gonna run a crossing route, and like sure as shit, one of the times like ran a crossing route.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you don't know how much of it that is too, where it's just the defensive coordinator had us pegged, and you know,
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's yeah, I mean there's definitely a coordinator's going into a game with the same base plays, but they're gonna change it up. They're gonna change it up based on the game plan. So
And well, and we've kind of seen too is that the offense has gotten a lot more predictable over the last couple of years a little bit. Now, part of it was last year they kind of knew what their bread and butter was, and they really leaned on it, especially later in the season against Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, where like most of us watching could be like, okay, I know where this is definitely going to be a run. This is definitely going to be a stretch left, or this is definitely going to be a screen. It's, you got Tariq, you've got, I don't know, whoever, someone coming over on some jet action is like, well, they're definitely going to get it out in the flat over there. Like to the point where fans can kind of be like, okay, this is where the ball is going. This is where this is going and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer, I guess, is from a play calling standpoint, but they've got to do something different. I don't know whether it's trying to focus on getting more runs to the outside, or if it's trying to, use different personnel. I don't know. There's a reason I'm not a Division I offensive coordinator, but
I think we should just continue to run that play where Chase Allen comes in motion across the line, like behind the offensive line, I mean. And then when no one's looking, Brock Purdy and Jyrell Brock shift one step to the left.
Jarrell takes
it. Yeah.
The read option,
that was
the read option with Purdy as the running back, and it went
beautiful.
for like 15 yards or something.
That was the best play all day.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe the Darren Wilson catch, but
just weird shit like that. Like, why not continue doing more stuff like that? I don't know. It's like, offensive play calling, I think it's used as a scapegoat for bad offense a little, probably too much, because there's a lot of different factors that going into why offenses don't work. But I don't know, something just,
yeah. I mean,
the scheme looks wonky right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, and to that point, so when I was there, we had Tom Herman, right? Like, he was our OC, and there's plenty of games where we just couldn't get it going, like for whatever reason, just couldn't get it going. And then, my senior year, he goes to Ohio State and is the OC and wins a national championship. So obviously, he can call plays. So, it's like you said, it's not always the play calling. There's other, things going on. But like you said, I hope we get it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And we will.
I think I have confidence they'll get it figured out this weekend. It's just right now, everything just feels really bad right now.
I think that's just kind of the difference of where we're at with Iowa State football. I mean, no offense to you, Josh, but like back in your day, we were aiming for 6-6 or 7-5, just winning.
Feels like you're taking
3, 4, 5 conference games, and now we're in the spot where
it wasn't Josh's fault.
No, it wasn't Josh's fault. Josh did all he could. But now we're in the spot where we need to kind of not get in this every year and take the next step forward and not have to worry about the first 3 games of the season. I think that's kind of why everyone's maybe overreacting just a little bit to.
I do think from his comments, though, it does seem like the slow starts and being better in September seems like Campbell's like next mountain he wants to climb, which obviously includes Iowa, but like that's the next big like hump that he wants to get over as a program, is figuring out how to be better in September. Still working on being your best in October and November, but not being a complete dud in September or whatever. And that's that. So I was kind of encouraged to see some of that in his comments too, but.
He's been
Matt Campbell just says the right things always. So
he always does say the right things, doesn't he? Funny how coach
right.
works. It's always the right thing. But the great part, but the silver lining about all this is there's almost nothing to talk about with the defense. They're just really good.
1.7 yards per carry they are allowing,
and the second half was 0.9 yards per play for the Iowa offense. I mean, it really just about doesn't get better than that. Short of actually holding them for negative yards, which they actually did in the third quarter. They held them -6 rushing yards in the third quarter, if I remember correctly.
I just saw something
short of
that
that,
triggered,
I
just saw something that triggered me, and I hate to skip over our entire great defense, but how bad are our special teams?
Yeah, special teams is they fixed one part of it. They fixed the kickoffs, which is great. That takes care of that thing.
Corey Dunn was such a great punter the first time he punted. He came back and did it again.
Yeah, I mean, his punting last Saturday wasn't like awful. It was fine. He had a couple that were okay. But punt return continues to be a dramatically bad issue. So I'm going to need Josh, you're going to have to walk me through this here a little bit. So from what I can tell, basically the entire Campbell era, except for maybe like 2017, 2018 and on, every single punt return has been essentially what Madden players would call a punt return safe man. Basically, everyone's just chilling back there trying to cover a fake. Essentially, nobody's rushing nobody's trying to get to the punter, and basically nobody's going back to block for the punt returner. I understand that it did finally pay off last year against Texas when Rory Walling sniffed that fake punt out and it ended up helping us win that game. I get it. But in my mind, if you're talking about winning in the margins, which is turnovers and special teams and defenses and penalties and stuff like that, on a single punt return play, you have an opportunity to get a turnover in going to try to block the punt, and you have an opportunity to try to get yards back on special teams and get field position. Those are two opportunities to win in the margins that we are just forfeiting on every single punt return. I mean, is anybody else having trouble reconciling that? Like, I get not wanting to get faked out, but is it paying off once every 5 years worth it? Like,
yeah, I mean, and I think if you're going to go that route, I think the biggest thing is to not give up. You catch the ball, like, I think that's the biggest thing is, knowing at least what their average is. Obviously, every once in a while, they're going to hit a bomb and it's going to go over your head. You're not going to catch it. But I think that's a lot of the hidden yardage too, is when you don't, even if you have to fair catch it, making the catch and not allowing that ball to go any further. And so if that's the route you want to go and you want to play that prevent, make sure you don't give up a fake or anything, that's fine. But, you also just have to make sure that you're catching the ball and not letting go and go behind you or losing.
That was a terrible mistake, man. That
Especially
one,
three returners back.
What they had Iowa at like the 5, right? Or like even maybe at the 10.
I think Torrey Taylor was like standing on his goal line.
Yeah,
basically.
so he punted from the goal line. The ball was at like, it would have been
caught at the 40, the opposite 40,
and it ended up at the 10.
Yeah, it just kicked 30 yards back. It's like, I mean, that changed the whole deal. Iowa State offense had a chance to work on a kind of short-ish field for the first time would have been basically the only time all game. And it ended up turning into basically an 80 or 90 yard punt.
And then
what are we doing?
Hall fumble was the next play, right?
Yeah, it was. It was the next play, which in that one's kind of an interesting one too, because if you go back and look at the end zone cam, the Iowa guy basically peanut punched it out of there. I mean, Brees didn't really do anything wrong on that. And the fact that it just like kicked straight out to an Iowa guy on the goal line and just picked it up, like, is a kind of a freak play that Iowa essentially manufactured entirely on their own. And like those two plays right in a row killed the game. I mean, the crowd died after that. I
died after that.
Oh yeah. I mean, we were just there was nothing left.
Can we just talk about how they forced Juicy Wiggle on us in the fourth quarter?
They played Juicy Wiggle.
Yes. Yeah, after the Hunter Decker's touchdown.
I literally did not
forced
even
Juicy Wiggle of all time.
I literally did not even notice that. I refuse to acknowledge that Juicy Wiggle. But I don't know. It's the great thing. One good thing is that Iowa State does have a 5-star punter coming in this season.
Cannot come soon enough.
But even a 5-star punter is not going to do a damn thing if we're not like if he's punting from his own goal line every time, what's he gonna do? I mean, because nobody else is gonna let that thing drop and bounce to the other 10-yard line.
Well, enough about the goddamn special teams.
Yeah,
Let's I think there's a hot button issue here, Levi. I think all right, raise a hand. Which one of you three are going to? I know Levi, you're going, but who's going to Las Vegas? Are you going, Josh? And you're not, I know. So it's just Levi. Okay. So Levi, people have been asking where Wide Right Natty Light people are going to be hanging out prior to the game. And maybe you don't know yet because it's going to be hot as balls and we don't know where everybody's going to be hanging out. But there is
hot as balls and there's not actually a ton of us going out because I know like you're staying back and like Matt's staying back.
Well, I mean, I guess Cyclone fans are going to be kind of congregating away from the strip. There's a street that has some bars on it that maybe you know what it is, but I can't think of the name right now. But there are other bars not on the strip that you don't have to pay an ass load for beer for that I think like Cyclone Fanatic is going to be in that area. A bunch of other people. Yeah,
there's a good chance that I'll probably try to get a hold of Chris ahead of time, and we'll.
So I would assume if you're going to Las Vegas to watch the Wide Right Natty Light Twitter feed for Levi posting where he might. Yeah, be,
it legitimately may be a game time decision on that kind of thing. Just right, like, let's go to this bar, because there's not a lot of plan. Because to be totally honest, I'm not sure if there's. I may actually be the only Wide Right person actually going out.
I thought Matt was going.
Nope, Matt's not going.
Well, we'll be here watching the game at fucking 11:30 at night, while you guys are still 2 hours behind us and we'll be fucking struggling to live.
There you go. Well, I will be too, but I'll be in the stadium. Because it's still Las Vegas in September. It's going to be hot as shit. There's really no plan for that at the moment. But anyway, I mean, we don't need to keep going over the Iowa game stuff or whatever, but
just beat the shit out of UNLV.
I just want to beat the dog shit. Like UL Monroe them. Beat them 66-10 or something.
Set the tone and change the course of the season and let's roll.
Absolutely.
And then Baylor's waiting in the wings.
And Baylor looks like, now granted they haven't played anybody, but Baylor looks to be at least decent. So that's not gonna be a pushover game. And it's probably gonna be hot as shit in Waco again.
So I looked, it's gonna be high 80s.
Well, that's doable.
I've already scouted.
Well, high 80s is doable. We can do that.
It would be non-tense weather
in Ames this past weekend.
It would be cooler. So yeah, that's I don't know. That's what I need to say. I want Iowa State to look good against UNLV. Look like they should look against UNLV because they're a lot worse than you and I. You and I would do very bad things to them. We should beat UNLV fairly handily, but we'll see. All right, you guys got anything else you want to say about this weekend? Are you guys ready to move on to games?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah. Don't make it similar to the last UNLV game. Let's not do that. No,
I actually was at that one. Was it back in like 2007 or something like that?
One in Vegas?
No, they I don't remember. When did Iowa State play in Vegas?
Oh wait,
we lost in overtime.
They played in Vegas.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was at the one before that in 2007 when the UNLV coach tried to fight everybody on the field.
Seems like
that was great. Legit. All right. Well, let's get moving on to our weekly games. First up, we got Aiden versus the 90s. Let's do it.
Why are you large and in charge here?
I didn't change any of this.
You trying to toss us
I didn't do
game picks.
Our producer
before.
Yeah, let the producer run this show.
Oh my god, this is terrible. All right, producer, take over. This is
we're doing game picks. You're gonna like.
All right, we're doing game picks.
This is fun.
Cubs corner. Let's do this. See this. Okay. Why do we pay this guy? This is terrible.
You don't.
Fun fact: you don't pay any.
That's a lie. I definitely do. I pay both of you. All right. Anyways, I'm sitting here behind the Estas logo. Don't worry about me.
We don't care.
I know nobody does.
This is Aiden's show now. Shut up.
Happy. All right.
Let's do it.
My first pick. I'm taking Michigan State. Just to cover, not to win, just to cover, because I think that their running back Kenneth Walker might be the dark horse for a Heisman who won't win the Heisman because he plays for Michigan State. if that makes any sense. I think he's
Sure.
a very, very good running back, but
The
he's just not
Heisman
on a
that
good
won't
enough
win
team.
the Heisman.
It's
I like
like,
it.
you know how Troy Davis should have won the Heisman, but we were so bad that it didn't even matter like that.
I see.
Yes, I do remember that.
And Miami, I think, is severely overrated. I know they had a tough week 1 game against Alabama and did not look good, but I'm off the hype train of Derek King just because it sounds like he's been the dude for 3 years or 3 or 4 years. Seems like he's been in college since Perry Ellis was a sophomore, but
Did you factor in that Miami fans saved a cat though when you made this pick?
Oh,
That's
I did.
true. That's
the
true.
cat should
point.
have died. Next question.
That's first rookie mistake right there. You got to factor in extra things outside the realm of the football game when you make these picks.
Yeah, I did not factor in the cat, I guess, but
Unbelievable.
anyway,
Move on.
Next pick. Going with Alabama at Florida, taking the over. The over has hit in the last 5 times these teams have played. So that's kind of what
Alabama
I'm
might
basing that off
put up that many points on their own.
of. That too, yeah. And I don't think Alabama's defense is nearly as good as it's been in recent years. And Florida's offense is always pretty solid.
Let's take a picture of these picks here. I'm gonna remember this on Saturday while I make some bets.
Looks like I'm the one you need to be paying attention to.
No.
yeah, he's 1-6.
Aiden is terrible at
You
this.
know what?
He's so bad at this.
Okay,
All
but
right.
last week I should have been 2-2. We all should have had one more win if it wasn't for a 35-28 Oregon Ohio State game where the over/under was 63.5.
Well,
Yeah.
we win some,
Anyway.
we lose some.
Next game, taking Memphis, our lovely Memphis Tigers, because Mississippi State is not that good, and they will not have the Cowbells in the Liberty Bowl this weekend at the stadium.
Money line.
So there's your cat stat for that game.
I like how Levi said he should be the one that we should be paying attention to, as he's only 1 game up, basically. Like what? Like it's not like he was up like 10. He's just like, yeah, pay attention to
Scoreboard,
me.
baby.
Gee whiz.
Scoreboard.
And also, Memphis has a receiver named Calvin Austin, who is top 5 receiver in the country right now, and I think that he's going to run all over Mississippi State, who is 114th in the country. I think they give up like 285 yards in the air every game. So, give me the Tigers.
Now, did you factor in the old
Christ.
the pirate on this one? The pirate Mike Leach?
Yeah,
Never
I
underestimate
did.
the pirate.
The Pirates 6-7 right now at Mississippi State.
Okay. Fair.
That's your factor.
All right. Factored it in.
Let's see here.
Digging
Okay.
it. So, what are we going down the line here and picking these 3 games, or we need to explain our picks here on above our noggins?
Why don't you pick my games and we'll pick your games?
Very well. Levi
Oh, okay, I'm going first.
or
Okay.
Josh, since he's the
Yeah, Josh, why don't you go first? You're
Josh's
better
got
at
to
this.
make a comeback here. He's the only one that has a proper headshot here that looks like he's a professional.
Yeah, no shit.
Here,
He's
here's
better
Levi
than
and I.
us
We
because he
look
has a
like we're
professional
fucking
picture taken.
goddamn kindergarten photos out here taken by a child that you paid with, like, I don't know.
You're stretching the
Butterfingers.
Matias beyond the length of this.
Shut your
joke.
mouth.
Let's
Go,
go,
Josh.
Josh, just go ahead.
So I like the Bama Florida over. I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna ride with you on that. Miami, I don't know. I don't really think Michigan State has played anybody yet. I mean, they played Northwestern. They beat them. Miami, obviously got smoked by Bama. Played Appalachian State, and could have lost that game. But I don't know. I think they'll come out ready. Plus, I want to fade you, Aiden. So I'm gonna take Miami.
To cover or straight up?
No, I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him to cover. I mean, I could take him straight up, but I don't know. the payout on that would be like minus, I don't even know, 300 maybe. So I'll do this spread. So cover -6.5, and then I'm gonna take Mississippi State as well, more or less just to fade you. And what's the spread on that?
Just
he's
literally taking them because you didn't.
Yeah, thank you very little.
What's the spread on that though?
This has it at Mississippi State -3.
Okay, I'll take that. Give me that. Give it to me.
And who's your Indiana Cincinnati game?
Oh, Indiana Cincinnati. So originally I took what I take, Aiden? I think
You originally had
Cincinnati -3.5.
3.5, yeah.
And I probably should have stuck with that, but I overanalyzed it and went with the over 50.5. Last 4 games that Indiana has played against top 10 teams, the overs hit. Cincinnati has scored 42 and 49 in the last 2 games. Haven't played anybody, but they can put up points. And then obviously Indiana went up against a good Iowa team. First week only scored 6 points, but was able to put up 56 against Idaho last week in their home stadium. So, so I'm hoping they can keep some of that momentum in their home stadium going and put up some points, because Cincy's going to put up points, so Indiana's going to sling it around. I know Cincy's got a good team, but I'm just I'm hoping that this is going to be a shootout.
All right, Matthias.
Well, in their last 5 home games there, Miami is 0-5 against the spread. But Aiden, sorely mistaken here, forgot the power of the cat and saving of a feline friend. So
gosh.
they're gonna ride the cat, all right? And they're gonna cover at home, and they're gonna take away that against the spread and make it 1-5.
Is this what Ashton Kutcher felt like on Saturday, you think?
No, I showered before this.
Hey, 0-5 against the spread at home. They're due.
Yep. So Alabama, Florida, I'm gonna jump on that over with you. I'll give me some of that action. That's just gonna, SEC defenses won't show up that one, and then old Captain Jack Sparrow here, Mississippi State and Memphis. Give me Mississippi State in this one. They're gonna bring the cowbells with them, not with you, unless you're going. You never know.
No.
All right.
It was kind of funny. Someone tweeted at Liberty Bowl, "Can we bring our cowbells?" And they just replied and said no. I think now they're an extra rule.
Screw you. All right. Now this is the exciting part here. Presbyterian College, the Blue Hose. These dudes never punt. All right. This is their first year head coach. I can't even remember his name, but he just came from a high school where he invented this play style where he goes for 4th down all the time. He never punts. He onside kicks every freaking time, and he has brought it to the college game.
He always goes for 2 as well.
And he always goes for 2. So I just read an article that somebody was wrote up this big thing that how this play style could work in NCAA Division I. So it's only a matter of time before somebody tries it. And I'm very interested to see this go down. But anyways, these dudes haven't played anybody yet, but this is where it gets really exciting. All right. First game, they put up 83 points and 84 points against St. Andrews. Everybody heard of them? No, they're an NAI team. Doesn't matter. Still put up 84 points. They threw for 600 yards passing. It's just nuts. They're doming teams. Then last week, Fort Lauderdale, ever heard of them? No, doesn't matter. Put up 68 points, only gave up 3. Threw for another 500 yards. Don't even care. These guys just chuck it around the field. Let's take a gander at some of this. Look at these dudes.
Just doing
stuff.
stuff.
They could take down Kansas right there, just on a throw like that. No problem. Let these guys in the Big 12. New Big 12 team right here. Watch.
One interesting part about this whole thing is that Presbyterian is a non-scholarship program like Drake, and Campbell that they're playing this weekend. Campbell is a scholarship program.
724 yards of offense.
Oof, look at that throw. He's cooking. I don't know who that guy is.
Look at that guy trying to run after him, though. Oh, man.
Brutal effort.
Can you even bet on them? Or is
No.
this just
No.
Okay.
Well, we are. It's just taking him on the money line.
Since you could actually watch these guys play on ESPN Plus on Saturday at 5:00.
The only guy that's offering lines on this game is one that he walks around the track during the game.
No, it's the guy that's behind a freaking Applebee's in a dumpster just did a line of Coke. That's the guy offering lines on this game.
So you would say he is fancy like Applebee's.
Yes, because he's doing the cocaine. But so Campbell, they played Liberty and Elon, which is a little more stiffer competition than the Presbyterian Blue Hose here. But you got to take the power of the no punting, the 2-point conversions, the onside kicks.
I like that scheme right there. That little wheel route there. It's kind of nice.
So do they not have a punter on?
Oh, he's on the roster. He just don't get to play.
He just literally doesn't do anything. He's the he's
at the best getting recruited to go there.
Yeah,
come on over. We'll never punt. You don't have to do anything.
It's
You're going to be the water boy.
I would be willing to bet that he's the last punter on the roster.
Whoever this, I feel bad for the St. Andrews team. It's just like
no kidding.
Poor effort.
All right,
get good, son.
Let's get back to it. All right, so can't wait to get our copyright violation for Presbyterian College highlights. So that's going to be awesome. All right, so I'm up. Let's see. I'm going to take Miami on the points there. I think they're clearly the more talented team. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Michigan State. I don't see any reason to believe in them at this point. I guess I know the running back is good, but I don't know. I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to take Miami on that.
He's going with the cat on this one. Look at this.
Over 58.5 on that game feels like free money. I'm taking that. On the Alabama-Florida game.
Fade him.
Yeah. So on this one's tricky. You said what? You said what? Mississippi State's a 3-point favorite at Memphis.
Yep.
Let me see something here real quick. So guys,
what's Memphis done this year?
I'm trying to figure out what. So I was looking to see who Memphis has played so far.
Got denied from the Big 12.
They played. Yeah.
So they
played Arkansas State last week and won 55-50.
Ooh, baby.
Arkansas State's actually not terrible. But they're actually a pretty good program. Their passing game lags behind Mississippi State's by quite a lot. Even from rate, as far as completion percentages, catchable percentages, on target percentages, and stuff like that. Give me Mississippi State on that. I'll take Mississippi State on that money line.
Come on.
All right. So mine is Nevada as a 2-point favorite over Kansas State. Nevada has a very good quarterback. I believe his name is Carson Strong, if I remember correctly. He's
how much of the 2-point favorite on this do you believe is because of Skylar Thompson?
It is 100% because of Skylar Thompson. The reason I'm taking this is because of Skylar Thompson being out. We saw how incompetent Kansas State's offense was last year without Skylar Thompson. It was really, really bad. Now, Deuce Vaughn might have a decent game because I don't know if Nevada's defense really keeps up with their offense. But I think Nevada's going to win. I think Nevada's going to win this thing, and it's going to be. I mean, 2 points is such a small spread.
Yeah,
you could take them on the money line. I'll take them on the points here. I'll take them on the points here because I think Kansas State's gonna have a lot of problems without Skylar Thompson. I just don't know if they're gonna physically be able to put points on the board. Yeah, give me Nevada -2.
Boom.
There you go.
I'm gonna buy a Blue Hose t-shirt.
I'm also taking the Blue Hose this weekend.
That's gonna be America's darling team.
Sweetheart.
Everybody just get in on this right now and let's just ride the hose.
There we go.
Can we make a t-shirt? Can we like find
Ride the
somebody at
hose.
this college and make a t-shirt that says ride the hose?
We can, yes.
I mean, that seems like a t-shirt that would sell.
We'll get you one. We'll get you one so you can just say ride the hose on. Yeah.
Ride the hose, baby.
Alrighty.
It's not even like the blue waffle. It's just the blue hose.
Yeah, it's the blue hose. And it's HOSE too. It's not even like, yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, I don't know.
And we have been kicked off YouTube because of mention of blue waffle.
Yeah. See, and that's why you're trouble on the show.
Are you Googling it right now?
I'm not Googling it
Oh, okay.
because I know I feel like it's a trap and I'm not doing it. All right. So
You don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
No wonder he didn't yell at me right away.
Don't feel bad, Levi. I have no idea what they're talking about. Either.
I'm just gonna live in blissful ignorance, and I'm actually what's gonna happen here is Aiden's gonna pull up the intro for Aiden versus the '90s, and I'm gonna Google it real quick. Oh no! That was a bad idea.
He actually did it. He said, "Oh no."
Alrighty then.
That's gonna be the clip for tomorrow. It has to be.
Oh no! All right. So first up, this British actress was named to the best dressed of all time list back in her heyday, and she passed away in 1993. She was the star of Breakfast at Tiffany's. Who is it?
No idea. I don't think I can name a British.
Oh, come on, guys. Breakfast
I
at
think I can name
Tiffany's?
a British actress right now.
I'm not even sure if I've really seen Breakfast at Tiffany's.
It's an older movie.
No, I know that. I know of it. I don't think I've actually watched it or can tell you who's in it.
Nothing from anybody?
No clue.
The answer is Audrey Hepburn.
Ah.
Don't know who that is.
Nope.
What? Like you've never heard that name before? Audrey Hepburn?
Yeah, it seems like you've not done like a service to the world by like not hearing that name.
I mean, like you should know who Audrey Hepburn is. Like
Why?
one of the most famous actresses of all time. She's oh my god. All right.
You brought up Breakfast at Tiffany's that came out in 1969.
Oh yeah. Now that
Yes.
now that I look her up.
Yeah, there's a lot of 60s movies she was in, but
Yeah.
I would say widely renowned in the world, but
All right. This SEC quarterback started 4 years in a row in the mid 90s and had virtually identical passing stats all 4 years, but finished his career with negative 181 rushing yards. Who is this quarterback?
probably can't give us the school either, huh?
I'm not going to give you the school because it'd be super obvious. I will give you.
Was 1998 the last year that he played?
I guess technically probably including the bowl game. Yeah. I mean, it would have been the 97 season.
Okay.
Let's see what you got. His career touchdown to interception ratio is 89-33.
In college?
Played 11 games in each of his first 3 seasons, then a 12th and 97.
Peyton Manning.
It is Peyton Manning. Well done for Tennessee. His passing stats from efficiency standpoint were almost identical all 4 years. 62%, 64%, 64%, 61% completions, and he was at between 145 and 147 quarterback rating all 4 seasons.
I think that's why it's in 98 because he got drafted in 98.
He did get drafted in 98. So yes, technically, and actually, this is a fun fact. He actually had one career reception for 10 yards.
Booyah.
Yeah. Okay. Last one here. I had one in my head. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do here. I lost my accent. I closed my tab, and this was terrible. All right. The winning oops, hold on. One minute. There it is. Okay.
Come on, Trebek.
Or the shut up. The 1995 Super Bowl. The starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers played at which college?
BYU.
Bruh.
Well
That was
done.
a layup.
Yeah, it was. Let's see.
You mean Big 12 legend Steve Young, right?
Big 12 legend.
Big 12 legend Steve Young. Yeah.
Did Ty Detmer play at BYU? I feel like there's Jim McMahon, Steve Young, and then there's like one more. Other than obviously Zach Wilson now, but
Taysom Hill played there. Yeah. What's it like? Max Hall, I think is what his name was.
Jim McMahon.
Yeah, Big 12 legend Jim McMahon.
Okay, here I got one more for you.
This does not count towards your record.
It does not. The 1997 Super Bowl. So, the 1997 Super Bowl was played between the Packers and the Patriots.
Brett Favre.
Who was the Super Bowl MVP? And who was the winning quarterback's first completion to in his career?
Himself.
Brett Favre, that is correct. The first part, first completion was to himself. Who was the Super Bowl MVP of that game? The Packers and the Patriots.
Oh, he's I know.
From 1997.
Can I get offense or defense?
Neither.
It's a punt returner.
Oh,
wow.
Kicker? I don't know who it's going to be. Matthias knows something.
Is it Desmond Howard?
It is Desmond Howard. Good pull. Well done.
I did not
won
know
the Heisman. He won the
MVP.
Heisman and the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep. Well done.
Punt returner.
Ooh, fun fact. The halftime show was the Blues Brothers, James Brown and ZZ Top. Interesting halftime show.
I was literally sitting. I was like, God, College Game Day. What the fuck is his name? And I'm like, well, it wasn't fucking Herb Street, And I'm like, wasn't Reese Davis. It definitely wasn't freaking.
It was
old
Corso.
Dementia. It just.
Yeah. Lee Corso, college teammates with Burt Reynolds at Florida State. All right.
Durd Ferguson.
Yep. Well, different Burt Reynolds. But anyways. All right. So now that was Aiden versus the 90s. And now we have our other game where we reverse this called Old Heads New Trends, where Aiden asks us a bunch of newfangled trivia and we wildly guess and get nowhere close.
Can you guys think of a more forgotten career than Desmond Howard?
As far as NFL goes, that's tough.
Maybe anything, honestly. Obviously he won the Heisman, but nobody ever talks about him.
Yeah, he was like Reggie Bush before Reggie Bush was Reggie Bush, and Reggie Bush completely erased Desmond Howard's legacy.
Crazy.
All right.
All right.
Here we go. What is the name of the album that Drake recently released?
Certified Lover Boy.
There you go. Bonus point for if you can name how many songs are currently in the Billboard Top 10.
All of them.
No.
3.
I'm going to say 8.
Correct answer was 9.
Damn.
Wow.
So I was
Then he's
close to
got,
all of them because
he's got 11, 12, 14, 15. They're all way up there.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Okay.
All right, ready for your favorite part?
Yes.
I got freaking Donda and Certified Lover Boy in 2 back-to-back weeks. How about those kids?
I have not listened to either of them.
Neither have I. Just keeping up with trends here.
Yep.
All right, ready for finish the lyric?
Let's do it.
Heard the song, I just don't know it.
Yeah,
I'm with you, baby. I got you, baby. Come on. Yes, it's close.
You want me? I want you, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
That song, but I don't.
You did
I have
not
no
get
idea.
it.
No
Yeah,
clue.
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
song,
yeah.
No
What
idea
is
what the
it?
lyric is.
Moonlight.
What is
You
it?
are not correct. All right, here's the full thing. All right, here it is.
I'm levitating. Okay.
I'm levitating. You were on the right track because you definitely said something that is said in the song. No more than 15 seconds
said a bunch of
before.
stuff that rhymes, but
Right.
It's like the same sound. I want
Yeah.
you, baby. I'm levitating.
All right.
Word.
Now we got the word of the day.
Popcorn fart.
better not
So
be
this-
blue.
this
It better
has-
not be blue waffle.
Josh, you looked that up yet?
Yes, I did.
What'd you find?
Let me show you.
No. Okay. So this has 2 definitions, so I included them both.
Okay.
Someone who is hot, cute, or attractive is the first definition, and then the second one is something that is enjoyable, fun, and liked.
I have like a bunch of like ones in my head that I know work for one of those, but
Yeah, it's pretty broad definition here.
I mean, is it like,
Give those one more time.
is it a common term or is it like a really obscure one?
I'd say it's fairly common.
Like people
It's-
use it now, like it's part of the kids' lingo, right?
Yeah. Definition one more time is someone who is hot, cute, or attractive. And then the second definition is something that is enjoyable, fun, and liked.
Can you use it in the sentence?
No.
Can you spell it backwards?
What's it start with?
No.
Say in a
Starts
different
with a-
language.
Starts with a V.
There's a V?
And I'm pretty confident that even though I said that, you still won't get it.
I'm pretty confident that you're confident.
I'm pretty confident that you're correct. So is it a V?
Yep.
I got nothing. Nope, nothing. Josh?
No clue.
Nothing.
Nope.
Valid. Valid.
Valid?
Yep.
That's stupid.
That's dumb.
We're all stupid.
And
That might be the worst one yet.
Wait, that was the dumbest one. That was easily the dumbest one.
Boo.
That's terrible.
Josh is just hating everything on me tonight. Fade me on the picks. Now this.
Hey, I'm not the only one that faded you.
To be fair, you're very bad at these picks so far, Aiden.
Well, I don't want to pick like the gimmies.
You're
It's no
below the
fun that
Mendoza
way.
line right now, bud.
I am
Hey,
the
yeah,
Mendoza
like
one.
Kansas-
I'll give him the
Like
credit,
Kansas is
though.
looking at you and be like, wow, he should truly try to win more of these.
He's dropping more knowledge into these picks though here as of late. Like he's spitting out facts, but he solely mistook this week for getting the cat.
This is ridiculous.
It's X Factor.
This show's a bunch of garbage.
You guys see that video though? Like that cat was like freaking James Bond up there.
Then they caught
Oh,
an
yeah.
American flag in 9/11. A true American hero.
Salute. How can you forget that, Aiden? Like, I mean, come on, that's the most American thing that could possibly happen, and you are not factoring.
That's a free toady from Miami right there. That's all.
Yeah,
that
that's at least makes him a half a point favorite now.
Easily.
all right. I think we're ready to wrap her up for this week. You guys ready to wrap her up?
Do it.
All right. So for everyone, thanks for watching this episode of the Nightcap. I will see some of you in Las Vegas this weekend. If not, all four of us will be back next week to talk about hopefully a good win versus UNLV, and then we've got Baylor the following weekend after that. So we'll be back again next week. So I'm Levi Stevenson for Josh Lenz, Matthias Schwarzkopf, and child producer Aiden Wyatt. Everybody have a great rest of your week. Go Cyclones.